Some lessons on why you lack purpose. You're not lazy, you just haven't got something to chase. Guys, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? I'm not lazy, I lack purpose. The problem is you haven't found something that you're genuinely interested in that. Next question, you're probably thinking, how do I find my purpose? Well, the thing is with finding your purpose, everyone thinks it just comes to you, right? But it doesn't. The way you find your purpose is by doing loads of things that you think might not be your purpose, and eventually you end up somewhere where you actually find your purpose. So if everyone trying to look for a purpose and being like, oh, that's not my purpose, I won't do that, or I won't do this because I can't really see a benefit in me, that's the wrong mindset. You need to do things that your future self is going to thank you for. And you might not even realise you're doing this. I've done this a lot throughout my younger years. My first job was in a factory in London, picking and packing contact lenses. I was literally waking up at 4 AM in Hounslow, getting a bus, then getting another bus till I ended up in this factory somewhere in London and picking contact lenses. Now I knew that wasn't my purpose, but I also knew that I needed money. And to get money, you need to work. So I was just doing it to get by. However, I was very aware it wasn't my purpose. And guess what? I lasted 2 days. I left, I quit, and that taught me probably one of the most valuable lessons in life, and that was not to, one, settle, and two, realizing that it is hard out here and there needs to be a way out. And this is what I mean, guys, like, too many of you are kind of scared of doing something. Like, you're too scared to just try, too scared to just do something that you might not like. But the beauty of the game is, that's how you learn. That's how you kind of find your purpose. Like I say, you need to try some things. A lot of you are young, which is good. You've got time on your sides. However, as you get older, your ability to take risk and want to take risk, it's going to diminish. You're not going to want to do it. Other things are going to come into factor. You might have a mortgage, you might have a girlfriend, you might want stability. So once you're young, or whilst you're young, you need to try these things. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm literally telling you to work a shit job, which in fact, it's going to benefit you a lot more than you think. All right, cool. So you found a job, you're working, right? Take me for example, I was about 21 years old, found a job, I was working in this fucking contact lens factory in London, which I absolutely hated, then I left. Then I started analysing my life, started looking at my life from an outsider's perspective. And I started thinking at a young age, if someone was to follow me around, would they think that I'm kind of striving towards or working towards the lifestyle that I want? And truly, I wasn't. So this is when you need to put systems into place. And let me give you a few examples on systems. Probably thinking, what is a system? Guys, systems are anything that you put into place to kind of make the journey or make the process easier, okay? So a system, for example, for me was, I spend a lot of time on social media, aimlessly scrolling. This is not good. It's a bad use of time, doesn't really help. The only time I really recommend it is if you're doing research for social media related topics, or you're doing research just to kind of search things that might benefit you in life. Like everything in life now to me, as someone that's a little bit older than my 22-year-old self, has to have a positive ROI. If it doesn't, I feel shit. And if it doesn't, I feel like I'm not moving forward in life. Right, so let's break it down. Let me give you an example of a system. A system is something, for example, say you're scrolling too much on social media like I was, you need to put a time cap on it. You need to put a system in place where you're like, right, I can do it, but I'm gonna do it here, or I'm gonna do it there. And you're not doing it all day, you're not doing it aimlessly, there's a reason behind why you're doing it. That is a system. Another problem of mine, I have a sweet tooth. I love sweets and it always gets in the way of me dieting. Got two ways about it. Either you work out your macros and you implement it into your diet so it doesn't fuck it, or you just cut it out completely. That is a system. And you're probably thinking, why are these systems so important? But the problem is, if you do not have systems in place, you can only scale so much, whether that's personal life or business life. So you need to have systems, big or small, important or not important. If you do not have systems, you're going to struggle getting control of your life and getting control of any type of business that you're trying to do. The next phase, responsibility. You need to take responsibility for everything in your life. I didn't learn this till the later years of my life, and I don't know whether it kind of came to my demise, but now that I've used it and now that I kind of accept that everything that I do is my fault, I live a very clear, very concise and very powerful life, because I feel like whatever happens, I blame myself. When I blame myself, I don't sit there and pity myself, which sometimes I used to do when I was a little bit younger. I just think, right, this lesson, what is it teaching me? How can I learn from this? How can I bounce back from this? What can I do so this does not happen again? Because the problem is, guys, if you do not take responsibility for the things that happen to you, sometimes it might not even be your fault, like genuinely might not be your fault, but you need to think, why was it my fault? If you do not have this mindset, you're not gonna learn, you're not gonna overcome, and you're not gonna change. And that's the thing that we're trying to do right now, because we don't have purpose, so we're trying to change. If you take no responsibility, you're not going to change. And then your purpose is always gonna be like, what am I doing? Because I'm not learning anything here, I'm not critiquing myself, and I'm just not bettering myself. So everything is your fucking fault. And to round it off, you are in control of your own life. Like you are creating your own life. You're your own character. You need to live, you need to experience, you need to grow. And at the end of the day, it's your life. Like don't live someone else's life. Don't live it out because you're stuck thinking, what am I gonna do next? How can I kind of do this? Like you need to always think, this is my life. How can I change? How can I overcome? How can I level up? As soon as you get that mindset and you combine everything that I've just said, things will start to change. Don't expect change straight away. Guys, I was working loads of jobs from the ages of 21 to about 26, 27. And I always kind of thought, what the fuck is going on? Like, how am I gonna get out of this? How am I gonna change? How am I gonna level up? But what I didn't realize is, I was still trying things. I was making everything my fault, so I was learning things. And I was always looking for something else, something better, and how I could implement that into my life. And that's the mindset that you need, because that's gonna accumulate, and then when you get to the point where something might just click, that's when you know that you're on the right path. So don't dwell on it. I get a lot of messages from guys saying, don't really know what to do, don't really have a purpose. Move, be quick, be efficient, and don't waste time. And trust me, things will snowball and eventually get better and better. And you'll look back at certain things and you'll be like, shit, if that didn't happen, this would have never happened. So don't worry about it too much, especially if you've got age on your side. Even if you haven't got age on your side, trust me, things can change very quickly, only if you're working on yourself every single fucking day.